Okay, so see, when it is coming to the side wall mounted lights, okay, we just maintain that from the wall to the light, it's around minimum 6 feet. But if you're going with the ceiling, if you're going with the fall ceiling lights, then I'll give that standards. Okay, like how many rows, how many columns, and what is the distance between light to light, that I'll give the standard. But if it's a side wall mounted lights, obviously it will be placed on the side walls holder. The electrician will put an holder, then we are putting a lights in that. And only thing is, like beside the AC, you need to have a minimum of 300 mm to 400 mm, or from the wall to the center. So if suppose you have the total side wall, only one light is there, you'll take the center of that wall and you'll put it up. But when it comes to false ceiling, what is the standard, that I'll tell you.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
The
so here
socket,
is standard installation of
socket,
light socket also I'll give, no? I'll give now. Here in the drafting only it is mentioned, I'll give that.
okay, sir.
Okay, now coming to this, as I told you, you'll get this two-pole MCB enclosure. You'll be putting this two-pole MCB enclosure beside the AC. Then we suggest only going with a two-pole, because single pole if you're putting, then again neutral is getting jointed. So that in future, if suppose you want to unplug the AC, the neutral joint, okay, or if any leakages occur, if any leakage of current occurs, then obviously in the incomer, what is the incomer? I told you RCCB. So what happens if the suppose tape wrap ho gaya, or if any leakage occurs, what happens? The circuit breaker will get trips, right? So that is the reason what
Okay.
we best suggest is go with a two-pole MCB enclosure.
Yes.
Okay, so where phase and neutral both are
Okay.
controlled. Yeah, so now beside that we'll be putting the symbol of this LCP. This is a local control panel symbol, so which is local to that equipment, that is local control panel to that one. So we'll be providing that one, and we just represent the phase representation, which phase is coming, and for every circuit breaker we are giving the numbering. For every circuit breaker we are giving the numbering, and which phase is coming as per your load balancing sheet, which phase is coming. Okay, so that is as per your load balancing sheet representing the phase. And for this also there is no control wiring. Why? And control wiring, if you want to represent here, you can see it represented in that way, but it's the same. First from the DB2 circuit breaker, the power comes R3, and from the for how the control layer phase is happening with the help of circuit breaker 3 and R3 phase. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So now coming to lighting, raw power, and AC. Okay, placing all the things. Now the next one is, let me show you the ground floor, these all things, and single line diagram. Then I'll show you about the conduiting. Now when it comes to the next one is ground floor. Okay, we need to have a ground floor. Now when it comes to ground floor, as I told you in the last class, we'll remove all the flats except the staircase part, except the shaft, and except the lift. I put like this, and I remove the outer. So that is your parking area. That is your parking area. Now as per his calculations, in the parking area, how many lights he got? Yeah, when you see here in the parking area, he got totally 36 lights. Yes, 36 lights he got. By taking the lux level as in 100, he got 36 lights. Now I got 36 lights, means
Yeah.
can I give 36 lights on single phase?
No, sir.
No. Why?
No,
Because
sir.
on one phase we can give maximum of 800 watts and 12 points. Right.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So according to that, what he had done is 12, 12, 12, in the sense 3 phases he had taken as per the scheduling sheet which we had taken here. So R1 phase was coming, Y1 phase was also coming, B1 phase also coming. 12 points एक phase में लिया, 12 points एक phase में लिया, 12 points एक phase में लिया. 6M circuit breaker, 2.5 square mm cable, ground floor lighting, ground floor lighting, ground floor lighting. So R1, Y1, B1, 3 phases he brought up. Now when it comes to switchboard, what is that switchboard? He didn't place 12 model switch, he placed 6 model switch. 6 model switchboard. क्यों? Because it's a parking, we can control 1:2, na? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, for every light, if you put a separate switch, the cost increases, and more even we don't require that much of exact control like 1:1. Okay, because when you go to the shopping malls or hospitals or even a high-rise building, for every light, if you want to put one is individual switch, then it's very cost effective. So what they will do? So they'll go with 1:2 or 1:3 control, or maximum 1:4 control, guys. Maximum 1:4 control we can do. Okay, so now what we had done here, LSB1, first of all, R1 ka 12 points means he had placed 6 model switchboard, 6 phase switchboard, 6 modular. Okay, LSB1 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then again near the points what he had done, LSB1 switch 1 R1 phase, LSB1 switch 1 R1 phase, means what he had done, he just done the looping like this from the switch 1. He given up to this point. Then again from here the same he had done the looping. right?
Yes.
Okay.
सर लूपिंग करके तो ये फॉल्ट आ जाएगा सर, तो दूसरा भी काम नहीं करेगा ना सर।
अपन सीरीज कनेक्शन नहीं कर रहे ना,
जी सर।
सीरीज कनेक्शन रहेगा तो दूसरा फॉल्ट आता है, इट्स नॉट अ सीरीज कनेक्शन ना। एक लाइट जल गया तो और एक लाइट को पावर तो आएगा ना। फॉल्ट
Yes,
कब,
sir, I got.
अगर
पैरेलल
सपोज फॉल्ट का मतलब क्या है, सपोज कहीं पर लीकेज हो गया तो उसके हिसाब से मेरा सर्क्यूट ब्रेकर ट्रिप हो गया तो कौन सा भी लाइट को भी नहीं आएगा, टू लाइट्स को भी नहीं आएगा ना। इफ यू आर कनेक्टिंग इन अ
कनेक्शन।
सीरीज कनेक्शन, इफ एनी प्रॉब्लम अकर इन वन लाइट, देन अदर लाइट्स विल नॉट ग्लो, right? We are doing a parallel connection here. Parallel connection means there is nowhere related from this light to this light. Okay, we are just taking from the tapping,
नहीं
जहां पर ये अपन फेस दे रहे हैं वहां से ही अपन लेके आके इसको दे रहे हैं। हाँ बोलो आरिफ, क्या बोलना चाहते हो?
सर समझ गए।
ओके, अभी अभी एग्जांपल में बोलता हूं, अपन को सीरीज बल्ब रहते, देखो सीरीज बल्ब्स जो अपन घर में फेस्टिवल के टाइम में लगाते ना, तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम है, उसमें आई डू अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज वो क्या है, अपन को करंट कंजम्पशन कम करने के लिए क्या है, सारे बल्ब सीरीज में लगाते हैं, जो कि अगर एक लाइट फ्यूज हो गया तो नेक्स्ट पूरे को कुछ भी नहीं आएगा पावर, राइट? बट यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं करते। ओके, फ्रॉम द सेम प्लेस वेर यू आर कनेक्टिंग द फेस, यू आर टेकिंग द टर्मिनेशन फ्रॉम दैट ओनली, यू आर गिविंग इट टू दिस वन। इज इट क्लियर और नॉट?
यस
Yes, sir.
सर।
Connector to.
Yeah, connector will have a connector, or nowadays we are getting a Vago terminals, so mostly they'll put it this Vago terminals like this, or else directly you'll get a PVC, that one PVC to PVC connector. So or if you want to be more specifies and because client agar nahi accept karega तो will get this Vago terminals, Vago connectors. Okay, likewise this Vago terminals. So people nowadays mostly going with the Vago terminals, so that more effective and Vago connectors like this. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Aisa, just
Yes,
lift
sir.
and put it up in this. That's it. Okay, like
Yes,
3,
sir.
4 you'll get it Vago connector. So इसमें क्या बोले, तो एक को कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, एक में कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम आ गया तो नथिंग अनदर विल नॉट गेट डिस्टर्ब। Okay, so now likewise,
Instead of switchboard, we can put Vaco connector, sir.
yes Vago connector
सर वायरिंग में प्रॉब्लम आ जाए तो पूरा प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा सर।
हाँ वायरिंग में, अभी ये इनकमर में प्रॉब्लम आया, ये इनकमर का कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया तो ऑब्वियसली उसको नहीं आता है वो, दैट्स एक्सेप्ट। ओके दैट्स एक्सेप्ट, बट वहां पर अपन को बेनिफिट है ना, बिकॉज अगर वायरिंग में प्रॉब्लम हो रहा तो सर्क्यूट ब्रेकर ट्रिप हो जाएगा, सर्क्यूट ब्रेकर ट्रिप हो गया तो आपको रेक्टिफाई तो करना है ना, अगर नहीं रेक्टिफाई करोगे तो लीकेज होगा तो कई बंदे को शॉक तो मारेगा ना वहां पर, सो दैट्स अ प्रोटेक्शन ओनली। ओके, बट वायरिंग में आप बोले जो इनकमर है,
पूरा सिस्टम सर, सर वो ये मेन वायरिंग सर, एक वायरिंग में प्रॉब्लम रह जाएगा, पूरा सिस्टम बैठ जाएगा ना सर।
हाँ वही तो बोल रहा हूँ मैं। अगर सपोज दिस वन सी,
तो अलग अलग वायर से हम लेंगे तो मेरा सिस्टम चला, जिसमें ज्यादा एक वायर में फॉल्ट है तो एक ही सिस्टम बैठेगा, एक जगह में सिर्फ बंद हो जाएगा, लेकिन एक वो
बट
नहीं
दैट्स
वायरिंग
एक्सेप्टेड, अभी एक्सेप्टेड
लाइटिंग
आप
में
जो
तो वैसे भी लोड कम होगा ना सर, उसमें
हाँ
क्या है, और लाइटिंग में लोड कम होने की वजह से कोई फॉल्ट भी होता है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा उसमें।
नहीं, बट अगर आप
और कॉस्टिंग भी तो बढ़ेगी, सेपरेट केबल अगर ले करेंगे हम लोग,
यस
सेपरेट केबल ले करेंगे तो कॉस्टिंग भी तो बहुत बढ़
कॉस्टिंग
जाएगी
बहुत बढ़ जाएगा
एक ही लाइट के लिए। हाँ,
समझे? बिकॉज अभी देखो एक
जी
बड़ा
सर।
हॉस्पिटल बिल्डिंग है और एयरपोर्ट है, एयरपोर्ट में
उसको
200
बोले,
लाइट
हाँ
आएंगे,
उसको बोले।
200 लाइट में उतने सारे केबल्स रन करेंगे बोले तो आपको फॉल सीलिंग के अंदर उतना स्पेस नहीं रहेगा, बिकॉज एचवीएसी वालों को भी स्पेस होना है, इलेक्ट्रिकल वालों को भी स्पेस होना है, प्लम्बिंग एंड फायर फाइटिंग वालों को भी स्पेस होना है, तो उतना स्पेस में अपन सर हर एक का सेपरेट केबल और वो भी इंसुलेटेड केबल रन करना है बोल तो कहां से होगा बोलो?
और लाइटिंग में कोई इतना प्रॉब्लम आता नहीं है, लाइटिंग लोड में कोई इतना।
यस यस ओके
नहीं लाइटिंग में तो प्रॉब्लम है।
ओके, और
ठीक है सर, कोई दिक्कत
अनदर थिंग इज इट्स ए सेफ्टी। आप बोले कि ये हो गया तो ट्रिप मारेगा तो आपको रेक्टिफाई करने के लिए भी इजी रहेगा, दैट्स एक्सेप्टेड, बट द ओनली थिंग इज कॉस्ट वगैरह कंसिडरेशन पैरामीटर लेना है अपन को, बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट, छोटा बिल्डिंग है तो इट्स ओके एक्सेप्टेड। अभी देखो रेजिडेंशियल, अभी फ्लैट के अंदर था अपन को 1:1 कंट्रोल करे, अपन 1:1 कंट्रोल करे, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू अ बिगर स्पेस एरिया ऑब्वियसली वी नीड टू रिड्यूस द वायरिंग पार्ट एंड ऑल। ओके no, so now coming yeah, where was we? Yeah, Vago, yeah. So as Sandeep said, Vago, we will put with Vago terminals, or else even with the along with the right you'll get a PVC connectors, you can put that PVC connector and wrapping a tape. Okay, So likewise, what I done, all the 12 lights, I just shown the LSB one lighting switchboard one, which phase is coming and which switch you are controlling. The same way for 12 of Y phase, the another switchboard for Y phase, and another switchboard for the B phase. B phase I had shown separately. Okay. Now coming to the parking area raw power, even the parking area. So how do we calculate the parking area raw power? By going with the concept like 2 into L plus W by 15. So they'll go with 2 into L plus W by 15, and according to that, whatever the sockets he got it up, how many sockets we got up, and which is the phase representation. So coming to the DB, ground floor के लिए separate DB लगाते, तो और उसको कौन सा phase आया, which phase is coming to that, as per your load balancing sheet. Okay, so showing the phase representation for that. Next, in the parking area, we don't have any ACs, solely the lights and the power sockets. Next, coming to the quarter. When it comes to the quarter, again, for every quarter, you'll be taking 70 lux and you'll be calculating the number of lights, showing again the equipments and switchboard, which phase is coming the same way, which phase is coming and how you are controlling that equipment. Along with that, you'll be providing in the lift also, in the lift bay. In the lift bay also, we'll be providing one exhaust or one CFL, where it is controlled from that PCB board itself, and you are giving the power, PCB board and the power, and for the 3 quarters, the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. Now coming to the even quarter, we have a socket. So for the quarter maybe socket लगाया और उसको कौन सा phase आ रहा है, and these all should be given from the DB ground floor, not from individual flat, जो हर flat के सामने है वहां से नहीं देना, DB ground floor से देना है. Okay, now after this, the another thing was single line diagram. Now when it comes to the lining diagram, first, each and every floor, how many flats we have? 5 flats. Now when you see DB flat 1 DB1, flat 1 DB2, क्यों? Because load ज़्यादा था, तो 19.9 kilowatt I put on 1 dB, 29.357 I put on another dB. Flat 1 DB1, flat 1 DB2. Flat 2, it was 31, so I taken in 1 dB only, plus or minus 1%, it's okay. So I taken in 1 dB. Then flat 3, I taken 20.523, which you got up. Flat 4, 27.591. Flat 4, 2 dBs I taken. Flat 5, again the load was. Then for this, yesterday we calculated what is the circuit breaker. But here, he provided MCB, but generally we don't provide MCB. Okay, because as I told you, we'll be providing what is the circuit breaker, ROCB. We'll be providing ROCB. And this fault current and tripping time, we didn't calculate it. I'll tell you that later on, fault current and tripping time. And what the cable says, he got 103.56 16 square mm. He got 16 square 103.56 16 square mm. So based upon the load, as per your calculation which were done yesterday, so we'll be putting the cable sizes for all the feeders. Adding up all this 5 flats load, we got the SMDB load. Then for this SMDB load, based upon this load, again cable size calculation, he got 103.56 240 square mm AL XLP. Okay, single run 3.5 core 240 square mm mode. Okay, AL XLP, and the MCCB he got 400 amps with the fault current as in 24.83 kiloamps, and the tripping time is 0.42 seconds. Then adding up all the, what is the load? 171. So 171 kilowatt. And then SMDB ground floor, जो DB ground floor था, or MCC panel, motor control center. And for that motors, he based upon the motor, he calculated the circuit breaker size and the cable size. Then for this, we need to put a capacitor. So here a mistake is done. See. So never put a common capacitor. यहाँ पर common capacitor कभी भी नहीं लगाना है. Individual capacitor for individual motor, because there are individual compensation. So ये motor को separate, ये motor को separate, ये motor को separate capacitor. Then adding up this and this, we got the SMDB ground floor load 72.262 kilowatt. Adding up all this, you got the MDB load. Now as per the client requirement, he want the generator to be provided only for the emergency. So he took SMDB ground floor. क्यों? Because every flat we have a UPS. So, but what as per the client requirement, he had taken the generator sizing and he calculated the generator, he got 75 kVA only for the emergency SMDB ground floor. Based upon 72.262 kilowatt, he calculated the changeover, then he put a changeover. So that when main power is there, main power will come like this and it will go. When the main power is not there, if you want a generator has to be switched on, the generator power will be going. But if the client says that I want the generator to be provided for the total building, we'll remove this changeover and we'll be trying to place the changeover here. The changeover will be placed here. Because at that time, based upon the MDB load, we are going to calculate the generator size. Okay, so there the changeover will be provided, and according to this, we'll be calculating the generator size and what the cable size about. Now adding up all this, we got the MDB load. Now based upon the MDB load, they calculated the circuit breaker size. He got ACB of 2500 amps with the fault current and tripping time, and the CT. This I'll tell you the CT topics also. Ratio, protection class, and burden. I'll tell you. Then next transformer, he got 1250 kVA, where HT current, LT current, cooling method is oil natural, air natural. Then likewise, after the defining the transformer size, we need to decide your point of supply, whether it's a level kV or 33 kV or 60 kV or 132 kV. Okay, and PT and even the CT and the HT side, and then giving it to the main distribution point of supply. And then after that, this is also one of the important, that individual SLD. Individual SLDs का मतलब क्या है? In the last class we had done the load balancing sheet. तो अभी suppose you have done the load balancing sheet, execution has happened according to the what are the drawing which you have done, execution happened. But suppose in future the circuit breaker trip मार रहा है, आपका Y1 phase circuit breaker trip मार रहा है, तो electrician को बुलाएंगे. तो how can he identify? It's very difficult for him to identify. It's not that much difficult, but he need to spend a lot of time for tracing out why the circuit breaker is tripping. But instead, people has to give the individual single line diagram like this, so that in future if the circuit breaker is getting tripped, he can trace out the problem exactly by just opening the DB cover. When you open the DB cover, on the DB cover it will be pasted like this. So when you see R1, as per his load balancing sheet, यहाँ पर क्या दिखाया? R1, R2 कहाँ गया? Living room 2 power sockets को गया. Okay, and few things R3 में spare दिया, so that in future अगर कुछ load add हो रहा है, you can start putting it on this. Okay, and now Wi-Fi, where it is going on, it has gone to the master bedroom 2 power sockets, so that he can trace out the problem easily. Okay, by going to the exact location, he will check either equipment, जो appliances उसके अंदर जो socket के अंदर लगाया उसमें damage हो सकता है, और from the DB to the switchboard whether the cable is coming, वहां पर कहीं पर insulation cut हो गया लगता है, और inside the switchboard somewhere the short, or in the DB there is some problem. So they can trace out the problem exactly and rectify the problem easily. This is called individual SLD. So we need to take this printout and we need to give it to individual, so that he can start placing on the DB cover. When you open the DB cover on the canopy, they'll be pasting this so that he can trace out the problem easily. Likewise, for everything I had given the individual SLD. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Any questions up to here first? Hello.
Sir, where we put ROCB, MCCB, that one sorted out, sir.
We didn't study about the circuit breaker. I'll tell you about the circuit breaker. But in
Okay.
the distribution board, in the DB box. Okay, what are the DB box? Yesterday I told you, in the DB box, mostly we'll try to provide a ROCB. See, generally when it comes to nowadays for the residential building, people are not providing ROCB. They'll be providing an isolator. They're providing an isolator. Okay, but the problem in isolator is isolator doesn't give any leakage current protection as well as an unbalanced protection. Okay, so next class, or most probably 2 or 3 days class, I'll tell you about the circuit breakers. What are the different levels of circuit breaker? Where do we use that? I'll tell you.
Okay.
So in the
Okay.
distribution board, if you're putting a circuit breaker as an isolator or MCB, what happened is it does not have any leakage current protection or unbalanced protection. Okay, so उसी के लिए what we are doing is in the distribution board we provide an ROCB or RCCB, so that it will give a more leakage current protection inside the flat. If anywhere any leakage occurs, then what happens is it will trips. Okay, so that the person should be in a safe, and the equipment should be also be protected, and the person should be also in safe. Like example, in a kitchen we have a wet appliances. So when you're in the wet appliances, if you're touching to any equipment like grinder or anything, then at that time what happens is it will it will not trip if you're providing an isolator. Okay, but if you're providing an ROCB or RCCB or ELCB, they have a leakage current protection. Means ELCB हो गया 30 milliamps का मिलेगा, 300 milliamps का मिलेगा. If you are taking 30 milliamps, what happens is if anywhere inside the flat, if any leakage current occurs, and if that leakage current is more than 30 or 300 milliamps, it will get tripped. Because
100 का भी आता है सर?
हाँ, 30 का मिलेगा, 300 का मिलेगा, 100 का मिलेगा, तीनों मिलेंगे अपन.
सर एमसीसीबी यूज करेंगे तो क्या होगा सर? एमसीसीबी तो ऑटोमेटिक ट्रिप होता है.
एमसीसीपी कब ट्रिप होगा बोले तो आपका अगर करंट ज्यादा लेगा तो ट्रिप होगा. ओके, करंट ज्यादा लेगा तो ट्रिप होगा. अगर आपका करंट है सपोज 1 मिलियन 2 मिलियन और 300 मिलियन तक होगा तो एमसीबी ट्रिप नहीं मारेगा आपका. एमसीबी अगर लोड करंट ज्यादा ले रहा तो ट्रिप मारेगा, और शॉर्ट सर्किट हो गया, फेस टू न्यूट्रल शॉर्ट सर्किट हो गया तो ही ट्रिप मारेगा आपका एमसीबी. ओके, तो उसी के लिए इन द मार्केट विल गेट जस्ट मीटर.
इसीलिए सर आरसीसीबी लेना.
आरओसीबी मिलेंगे, आरसीसीबी मिलेंगे, आरओसीबी मिलेगा,
आरसीसीबी
रेसिजुअल ओवर करंट
मेजर आरसीसी भी चलता है ना सर?
या आरसीडी रेसिजुअल करंट डिवाइसेस, एंड दिस आरसीबीओ इज मोस्टली प्रिफर्ड. ROCB or RCBO is mostly preferred.
RCCB, no?
RCCB is
RCCB.
preferred. RCCB is preferred, but that is specifically if you're going with the motors also it is preferred. Motors will be preferred. But again in DB may people are maximum going with this one RCBOs.
RCBO, huh?
Yeah, because it's a combination of MCB and RCCB. Okay, so this have multiple protection. Like the first is it will give leakage current protection. Second is unbalanced protection. Third is short circuit protection. Okay, short circuit protection and overload protection. If you're going with
Sir,
RCCB,
RCCB sir,
अगर आप RCCB लगोगे, RCCB also give a protection, but not much than this RCBO. तो RCCB में क्या बोलते हो? It will give unbalanced protection like R2 by Y2B B2R difference and leakage current which is more than 30 or 100 or 300 milliamps. Then if a current which is drawing more than the load current, it will get rip off. Okay, so but specifically people are preferring with the RCBO. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
this I'll tell you again in detail when you're going with the circuit breaker concepts. Okay.
Yeah, RCCB.
This is an RCCB. Which have a manual trip coil also, manual trip button also. Yeah. Okay. So now likewise in this one, in the incomer, mostly in the distribution board in the incomer, they are going with that circuit breakers. Okay. Any questions still up to here? Okay. Now let us go with the next is conduiting. Now when it comes to, okay, first coming to the installation heights, I'll give this installation heights, guys. I'll give the installation heights. I'll give this legend, or I'll be giving a standard at frame the installation heights one word format. I'll give that installation height of like dB. What is the installation height? 6 feet to 7 feet from the finished floor level. Wall mounted FL. So yesterday we had taken 2.4 or 2.5 meter from finished floor level. AC socket 2 meter from the finished floor level. Okay, and or 2.5 meter from the finished floor level. AC should be installed 2.5 meter from the finished floor level. The socket of AC has to be installed 2 meter from the finished floor level. PSP power socket board. Okay, 1.25 meter from the finished floor level. LSB 1.25 meter from the finished floor level. If it's a geyser, if you're going out for a geyser, 7 feet 9 inches from the finished floor level. For fridge, if you're giving 5 feet 3 inches. For general purpose, if you are going to give 4 feet 2 inches. Then again in the kitchen may we provide a power sockets from the kitchen platform level, KCL or kitchen counter level, 1 feet from the kitchen counter level. Normal sockets in the kitchen if you want normal sockets. Normal sockets for TV and telephone, 2 feet from the finished floor level. Normal socket for general purpose. Exhaust fan, 2 meter from finished floor level. Lighting switchboard, fan. Likewise, I'll give the standards. Okay, so this is a common, because universally this is a common standard installation height which has to be followed and then placed according to that. Now, when it comes to the next part is conduiting. Now, when it comes to the conduiting, what is the purpose of conduit? So I need to run to each and every room. The main conduiting. Okay, main conduiting, and from that conduiting, wherever you require a tappings, they'll provide a junction box. Now, example, when it comes to example, and let us take a small room. I have a small room here. Okay, then I have a lights and fans. Example, we have a light here. One light here, and again another light here. Okay, then let me make a fan example. I can take that fan only, but I'm just showing you an example. Everyone know AutoCAD?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, see guys,
No,
if
sir.
you don't know AutoCAD, then I'll do one more thing for benefit for you. I'll give an AutoCAD recordings. Okay, AutoCAD recordings, the same way which we are just giving recordings, the same way I'll give an AutoCAD recordings. So you people
Okay.
has to listen that video and you need to practice the AutoCAD.
Okay.
Okay, I
Okay,
have
sir.
a recorded AutoCAD, but no, I didn't done the recording. No faculty had done the recording. Okay, so that recording videos, I'll give an AutoCAD videos. Okay, I'll be sending it to your mail ID. To your mail ID, I'll be sending, where you can access it from one separate website. ओके आपका डिटेल्स वगैरह देना है, देन डिटेल्स होने के बाद में आपका आईडी क्रिएट होगा, आईडी क्रिएट होने के बाद में आप जो भी कमेंट्स है लाइक ऑल दी 40 कमेंट्स ऑन द ऑटोकैड, एवरीथिंग इज एक्सप्लेन देयर and you need to practice like 3 comments you just see and practice. I'll be giving that access for 1 month. Okay,
Okay.
but the only thing is
Okay.
you need to watch and you need to practice, and according then only you can start doing your drafting part. Okay, so
Okay,
now
okay, sir.
like placing all your equipments. After placing the equipments, now we need to do the conduiting. For conduiting you can use a polyline. We go with a polyline. Okay, so क्यों polyline? Because line में polyline में difference है. If you're going with a line, suppose if you're going with a line and if I'm gone with a polyline, multiple is there. So this line is a single. Okay, now we suppose example I drawn this with a line. I drawn with a line. When I check with the polyline, this total is one set of line. When I check with this line, it's a combination of lines. What is the advantage in this? Later on, suppose आपने conduiting draw किया, I want the length of this cable because through the conduiting only the cable length will be passed. I want the length of the cable. So line डालोगे तो क्या होगा, हर एक point to point मुझे measure करना है, point to point मुझे measure करना है. But if I go with the polyline, then when I draw the polyline, if I click a list, I'll get the list, means I'll get the total data. Okay, you can see what is the total length, or here you can see the total area, or you can click on the properties, select this properties. Here you can see the total length is how much, 229 feet 8 inches. Okay, so that when you're drawing this polyline, what happened is when you click on the property, you can get the total length of the cable also. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is what the advantage if you're going with a line and polyline. So conduiting always should be done with the help of polyline, and here you can represent exactly polyline, means you can increase the weight, because for lighting what are the conduit size, we use 20 mm. For Roper we use a conduit as in 25 mm. Okay, now suppose this one I want to increase, I want to make this as a realistic as a conduit, so I'll go with the poly edit, I'll increase the width. Here you can see. Okay, I taken dotted line, that's it, going like this. Yeah, so you can represent with the polyline. Okay, so that you can increase the width as per your conduit size.
Yes.
Okay, so now the same here. Okay, now when it comes to this one, अगर मुझे एक conduiting करना है, suppose मेरा switch board पहले है, यहाँ पर मेरा switch board है. At the entrance I have a switch board here. This is a switch board, guys. Okay, now if I do the conduiting in this way, if suppose I'm doing the conduiting like this, corner to corner, if I'm doing the conduiting, if I do the conduiting like this, is it correct?
No.
No.
Come from steel.
It's wrong. Why? What happens if I run the conduiting like this, corner to corner?
Doors will come.
Length will increase, sir.
Length of the cable increases, length of the conduit increases, cost of the project increases, and wherever you require tappings, then again the tapping connection also increases. So whenever you are running a conduiting, always try to make sure that your conduiting should be run from the center of the room. Okay, like this, suppose. I'll run this conduiting like this, center. Okay, then wherever you require tappings, what you will do? You'll just provide a junction box. Suppose I require a tapping here. I'll provide a junction box. Okay, for a fan, we'll provide deep junction box. We know that for a fan. So I'll provide a junction box. Then after that junction box, whether it's a 2-way or 3-way or 4-way, okay, junction box, then you'll provide a junction box and you'll take a tapping to your fan. Now suppose here a point is there. Then what I'll do, from the same junction box, I'll take a tapping and I'll be giving it to this one. Okay, then here what we need to do, we need to give the symbol for drop. So I told you what is the symbol for drop. The drop means here we need to give it to the electrician, that here the conduit has to be dropped. Just a minute. Okay, so I just given a symbol for the drop here. So now what does an electrician will come to know? This symbol is here we are representing as a drop symbol.
He expect the height.
Yeah, representing the
dropped.
drop symbol, so that electrician will come to know that okay, you need to drop a conduit, because this is a side wall. Na side wall is constructed after the slab work has been done. Ceiling work has slab work होने के बाद में side wall construction करेंगे. उसके बाद में wherever he is getting a point, he need to do the cutting, wall cutting, and then you need to put your holder over there, and you need to drop your conduit and need to connect, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
at that point we are giving a symbol for the drop, and what is the drop? How much he had to drop? So here he'll be getting it, na? FL. What is the mounted height of FL? He'll be getting it from this one. Okay. Yeah, wall mounted FL कितना height है? 7 feet 6 inches. So mean to say that leaving 7 feet 6 inches from your floor level, whatever the remaining height, that height he need to drop a conduit there. Yes or no? Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
yes, sir. Yes.
So now the same here, when it comes to the conduiting work here, you see from the distribution board, from the DB, this is a distribution board. Okay, so from the DB, first of all, make sure that all the room, the main center conduit has run. सारे रूम में main center conduit run हो गया, देखो ये main center conduit run हो गया, देखो यहाँ पर. Then after running the main center conduit, wherever you now from the same center conduit only, I taken the tapping it to the switchboard. Then from the switchboard with the same conduit only, it will be routing to all your points. So, and wherever you require tappings from the same junction box, I taken a tapping and I given it to the multiple points. Near the switchboard also we need to give a symbol for drop. Near the equipment also we need to give a symbol for drop. For fan anyhow we don't provide it because it is placed in the ceiling itself. But for all your FL and CFLs we need to give a symbol for your drop, switchboards and all. Okay, so only thing is make sure that main conduiting always run from the center, and wherever you require tappings, provide a junction box and take your tappings to all your equipments. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah, for all
when
the
when this
from
conduit
DB
is,
to
yeah, tell me.
yes, sir. From DB to all switchboards is 25 mm, right, sir? Pipe size.
For lighting it is 20 mm, for raw power it is 25 mm. See,
Oh, from DB also? Okay.
don't compare again with the residential building. Generally in a residential building what they'll do is they'll run only one single conduit. Okay, one single conduit of 25-40 mm. They'll put it up. But when you're going with a high-rise building, for lighting it is 20, for raw power it is 25.
Okay.
Okay. So then another thing is I want to tell, I just forgot. Yeah. If you want to draw this conduiting layout, first of all, you need to draw this lighting layout picture placement. Because without doing this picture placement, how can you draw the conduiting layout? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so पहले picture placement and facing सब represent करने के बाद में the same layout you need to copy and then you need to draw the conduiting layout. Okay, conduiting, and this main conduiting will be always in the slab, we know. Okay, in the ceiling. Okay, in the ceiling before the building construction, after putting a TMT rods, we know electrician how they do. So after putting the scaffolding, centering activities हो गया, तो TMT rods डालते, TMT rod डालने के बाद में conduit pipe डाल के कहाँ पर अपन को जंक्शन बॉक्स चाहिए वो जंक्शन बॉक्स लगा देने के ऊपर से RCC reinforced concrete cement will be put, and then after that they will be जहाँ पर अपन को ये conduit इधर आया तो wall बनाने के बाद में chipping करके they'll take the extension and they'll give it to the light. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. So for the same, now lighting I had shown separate, even for the raw power also I had shown separate. Now coming to the raw power again, same sockets draw करने के बाद में इसी को यहाँ पर connection दिखा के, then again from the DB, the same main conduiting I had taken, and wherever you require tappings, I had provided a tappings for that equipment. Okay. Same center conduit. This is of 25 mm. This is of 25 mm. You can go with the 25 mm.
Okay.
Okay. Then coming to the AC we have a limited. So we don't draw again separate conduiting for that. Now when you see this, here he had shown as a representation as in separate, but मेन कॉन्ड्यूटिंग है वहां पर, ये रूम में देखो रॉ पावर का कॉन्ड्यूटिंग उसने लिया, यहाँ पर देखो सेंटर आया ना, यहाँ पर सेंटर आया, उसी का क्वांटिटी लिया इधर, एसी को सेपरेट क्वांटिटी नहीं किया, बट वही क्वांटिटी लगा के, बट जस्ट प्रोवाइडेड द जंक्शन बॉक्स वेयर यू रिक्वायर a tapping. He provided a junction box, and from the same junction box only he had just provided tapping and taken the connection. That the same layout has to be copied, and we need to provide that. So, and but junction box, extra junction box, we didn't need to provide that. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Even for the ground
Yes,
floor parking also, but for ground floor parking it will be directly in the ceiling only, so everything will be just like, then from the switchboard to the point we need to show that ये switchboard DB से switchboard को आ गया, DB से switchboard को आ गया, then switchboard से ये सारों को एक वो switchboard से conduiting, ये सारों को वो switchboard से conduiting, okay, और ये सारों को वो switchboard से conduiting करना. So this is what we need to complete your total task for your G+2, so that when you start doing for G+2 it will be easy for you doing your main project at the last, because lot of calculation still has to be completed, no? So that's the reason I'm giving a small project called G+2. Simultaneously when you're doing later on from Monday,
Hello.
what are the topic which I'm telling, so that you can start
Anna.
implementing on that and you can complete your total calculation part. Am I clear?
yes, sir.
So any questions up to here?
सर मेरा थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा सर, थ्योरी हमको देखना पड़ेगा सर.
ठीक है आप लीजिए,
सर।
टाइम लीजिए, लेके आप उसको रिवाइज करके करिए.
सर लेयर के बारे में थोड़ा समझा दिए, लेयर कैसे लेते हैं सर, लेयर का कलर कैसे लेते हैं?
अच्छा ओके. सी अभी फर्स्ट बोले तो आप जो भी इक्विपमेंट क्रिएट कर रहे, सपोज एफएल बोल के क्रिएट कर रहे, और आरफेस बोल के क्लियर कर रहे, आरफेस सर्किट वायरिंग बोल के क्लियर क्रिएट कर रहे, तो इन लेयर वी हैव अ कमांड कॉल्ड एलए एंटर. लेयर क्रिएट करना है तो एलए एंटर. आफ्टर गिविंग एलए एंटर, यहां पर देखो न्यू लेयर,
जी
ओके, न्यू लेयर के ऊपर क्लिक करना है. क्लिक करके सपोज मेरा अभी आरफेस है, ओके, आरफेस, I'd created layer rface. Color code, I'm just going with the color code as an R, red color दिया है, ओके. और कंटिन्यूस लाइन है, कंट्रोल वायरिंग रहे तो कंटिन्यूस लाइन नहीं रहेगा ना, डॉटेड लाइन रहेगा ना,
जी
ओके. तो अगर डॉटेड लाइन इधर नहीं है तो लोड करो, यहाँ पर देखो डॉटेड लाइन है, डॉटेड लाइन आ गया, ओके. ओके करो. तो तीन थिंग सेलेक्ट करना, एक हो गया आपका कलर, प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ ए लाइन वी कॉल कलर, लाइन टाइप, लाइन वेट. अगर आपको पतला लाइन ही चाहिए तो पतला लाइन डिफॉल्ट लाइन, नहीं सर मुझे थोड़ा मोटा वाला लाइन चाहिए, सपोज ये वाला चाहिए, तो यू कैन सेलेक्ट दैट वन. जो भी कलर है, जो भी पैरामीटर्स है वो दिए. आर फेस दिए, सपोज लेट मी क्रिएट वाई फेस एंड बी फेस, लेट मी शो यू द डिफरेंस. सो लेट मी गो विद वाई फेस, okay, the same again color code, वाई फेस. Then I am taking with the continuous line only. Let us take the continuous line, okay, and let us take the weight. I'm just showing the differentiation. I'll show the differentiation. Y face. Then again B face, color code blue. Let us take the line type. I'm just taking an example to show the difference. I'm taking this one, okay. Line weight, let us take the 0 mm only, lightweight, okay. I had created RYB, right? ऐसा जो भी ऑब्जेक्ट बना रहे तो पहले लेयर क्रिएट करो. क्रिएट करने के बाद में सपोज नाउ एक एग्जांपल, लेट मी ड्रॉ द लाइक रूम, a light, okay, and a fan and an exhaust fan.
Okay.
Okay, now suppose example, I just created 3 items. Okay, एक फैन हो गया, एक एफएल हो गया, एक फैन हो गया, एक एग्जॉस्ट फैन हो गया. तो पहले suppose to the switchboard. Okay, let me draw the switchboard also. Okay, so there is one switch. So switch, as I told you can represent anywhere with the symbol which we had just seen in our class में जो symbol दिए थे वही symbol चाहिए तो वो symbol भी represent करो. Okay, I'm just putting this symbol. Switch 1, see, multiple. Switch 2, switch 3. Example, guys. Okay, I'm just showing an example. Now from suppose R face is going to this light, Y face is going to this light, B face is going to this one. तो अभी मुझे क्या करना है? First you need to select the layer which you had created from the drop down. You can see the drop down here. यहाँ पर drop down में जाके आपने जो भी layers create करोगे, you'll see all the layers here. Whatever the layers which you create, that all the layers will be displayed. First R face, like suppose R face I'm taking. I'll take R face. Okay, then draw a line from the switch or arc. ओके तो ऑटोमेटिकली देखो आर फेस आ गया और डॉटेड लाइंस भी था, डॉटेड लाइंस भी आ गया, दिख रहा है?
Yes, sir.
ओके नाउ अभी वाई फेस चाहिए. आई वांट वाई फेस. फॉर दिस वन वाई फेस, देन गो टू द ड्रॉप डाउन, क्लिक ऑन द वाई फेस. नाउ which was the line I had taken for the y face? Did I taken the same straight this one only, continuous line? But I had taken the weight of this one as this one, no? The same dotted line only, but I had taken the weight as a bigger one. देखो यहाँ पर bigger one आया. Then B face. Okay, now coming to the B face again, same, either drop down, B face, arc. So whatever the type, it was a continuous line, so I taken continuous line, I got continuous line. Now अभी suppose इसका advantage क्या है बोले तो, now the client says that I want to see only R face का मुझे देखना है, R face कहाँ कहाँ जा रहा है देखना है. तो I'll go to this drop down, I'll make only the R face enable. R face को enable करता हूँ, Y face B face को ऑफ करता हूँ. R face को enable किया मैं अभी, Y face को ऑफ करता हूँ मैं, यहाँ पर टर्न लेयर ऑफ. B face को भी ऑफ करता हूँ मैं. Yes, turn the current layer off. Now see what happened. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So R face is there now. It's showing R face. Y face, B face will also there, but it will not show because the client says that I want only the R face where it is going on, all the R faces where it is going on. Then you can show all the R faces. Just go to that layer, create the off, turn off करो. Now I want only the Y face. I want only the Y face. Okay. So B face वो एक दिखाया मैं, R face को ऑफ करूंगा. कहाँ पर R face? या R face को ऑफ करूंगा. B face को एक को दिया, तो I go with the B face. I want all. Just unfreeze. You go with this all 3 faces. Likewise, if it's a small, ये छोटा सा कोई, it's okay. But if it's a bigger project and number of faces and different things comes, then it's very difficult. So that's the reason for every layer, light का separate layer, fan का separate layer, exhaust fan का separate layer, okay, switches का separate layer, DB का separate layer, okay, separate layers create करो और जो भी आप लगा रहे उस layer में आप object को लगाओ. So that in future I want only the lights. I don't want the fans. I don't want exhaust fan. So you can switch off all the things. Am I clear? So in this you have 3 options. One is free, off, another is freeze, another is lock. Off means वो off करेगा, simple it will off. Freeze करेगा तो मतलब क्या है बोले तो, what do you mean by freeze means? It's nothing but the space उसको जो मैं ये R face लगाने के लिए जितना उसका MB ऑक्यूपाई हो गया वो MB भी फ्री हो जाएगा. that MB will, if you go with only off, this the space occupied, how much MB it is allocated, that MB will be there, but only it has been hidden. But if I go with freeze, what happened is the object will get hidden and even the space which is occupied for that file, because abhi सारे diagram रहेगा, bigger diagram you'll have HVAC electrical plumbing. What happens, the diagram space size will increases, it will go to 2 GB 3 GB. When it comes to a bigger size, then it will get stuck when you're doing a diagram. So at that time client said that I'll switch off your HVAC and plumbing, go your electrical only you do. What I'll do, I'll switch off all, I'll freeze all the layers of HVAC electric plumbing, then I'll start working on the electrical. So what happened, that will be hidden also, and the space which was allocated for your HVAC and plumbing, that will also get freed, and your diagram speed will increases and you can start working on that. And third is lock, means no one can edit. Okay, like example, R face and lock. Now see, I can delete Y face, I can delete B face, I can't delete R face. Now see, likewise you can do the total diagram lock also, all the faces which are done lock. So that is what the advantage of these things in the AutoCAD. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is about the AutoCAD work, guys. So you need to start working on your G+2. So now bigger diagram means it's a number of lights and fans more, but you got G+2 only. So start doing that activity on your G+2. Tomorrow there is no class. Complete your practice tomorrow, Excel sheet calculations and the drafting. And Sunday also you have a time. Monday you can we go with the next concepts. What do you say?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
सर वो ड्राफ्टिंग के लिए
diagram-
सर बोले थे मेल आईडी जो
हाँ, AutoCAD का मैं मेल आईडी आपके मेल आईडी को भेजता हूँ, आप सबका मेल आईडी मेरे पास गए हैं. ओके, और else मुझे आप ग्रुप में व्हाट्सएप में मेल आईडी लगाओ, सब लोग जिसका मेल आईडी ग्रुप में लगाओ, तो मैं आप लोगों को AutoCAD का भेज देता हूँ.
Okay,
सर आपने इसमें बोला था कि जैसे ये ले नहीं करके शो करना है, जैसे RYB हमें मेंशन करना है स्विच वन बोर्ड एंड वो, तो इसका क्या जरूरत है सर? ये आपने मेंशन करके दिखाया भी है.
इसका जरूरत क्या है बोलो तो अभी RYB हो गया, अभी RYB क्लियर है ना. मुझे R फेस दिखाना है तो R फेस से दिखा दो, Y फेस को B फेस को ऑफ कर दो. ओके, वैसा अभी लाइटिंग स्विच बोर्ड है, पावर स्विच बोर्ड है. ओके, तो और क्यों बोलते हो, रियल टाइम में क्या होता है बोलते थोड़े उसमें सारे एक ही में दिखाएंगे, लाइटिंग भी एक ही में दिखाएंगे, पावर भी एक ही में दिखाएंगे, एसी भी एक ही डायग्राम में दिखाएंगे. ओके, तो जब क्लाइंट बोलेगा मुझे ओनली लाइटिंग, अभी बिकॉज इन वन डायग्राम ओनली यू हैड शोन ऑल द लाइटिंग, पावर, एसी. नो, अभी तक मैंने क्या दिखाया, आई हैड शोन सेपरेट ना, लाइटिंग का सेपरेट, पावर का सेपरेट, एसी का सेपरेट. बट देयर आर few projects where all the things has to be shown in one. At that time client says that please switch off all your power sockets and AC, I want only the lighting to be provided first. Then जब क्या करोगे, डिलीट तो नहीं कर
तो
सकते
वो
ना सारा.
ये डायग्राम में भी इसमें स्विच ऑफ स्विच ऑन नहीं कर सकते फिर उसमें ये
कर
हमने जो
सकते
ड्रॉ
हैं,
किया था.
उसमें कर सकते हैं. अभी मैं ये क्या बोल रहा हूँ, अभी ये देखो ये रॉपर है, इसमें आपने लेयर क्रिएट
हाँ.
करो, इसमें ऑफ करो. बट मेरा क्वेश्चन क्या है, एक ही डायग्राम के अंदर पूरे है, सारे है, लाइट्स, फैंस, एग्जॉस्ट फैन.
ओके ओके.
तो हर एक के लिए अपन को पक्का लेयर क्रिएट करना है, पक्का. जो भी आप स्विच बोर्ड लगा रहे, एलएसबी लगा रहे तो एलएसबी लेयर लगा के लगाओ, पीएसबी लगा रहे तो पीएसबी लेयर क्रिएट करके पीएसबी लगा. तो उससे क्या होगा एडवांटेज, मुझे सारे पीएसबी नहीं दिखाना है, अभी एक ही डायग्राम में पूरे है, मुझे पीएसबी पूरे ऑफ करो तो आई कैन ऑफ दैट ना.
ओके, बट ये है कि वायर नहीं शो करना है उसकी, कि यहाँ से ऐसे गोल कर्व ये वगैरह शो नहीं करना. बट
यस
या कोई ओके सर.
सर हेलो
सर
कवर्स बोलो.
सर, वो G+2 पे फैमिली करके भी है ना हॉल के पास?
वो इस क्वेश्चन मेरा
Same like living area. Family is nothing but the same lux level of your living. Number of sockets.
अभी वो हॉल को मिला के है क्या सर, या डिफरेंट?
Separate है, it's a separate.
सेपरेट
Okay.
सेपरेट
lux level
कैलकुलेशन
should be
करना है
200,
ना
lux
सर?
level should be 200. Take the FLs and
Okay.
then socket should be as per the dining area.
ओके
Sir, from SB to point, we call it as control wiring. From DB to SB, we call it as circuit wiring.
Yes.
From SMDB to DB, what we call, sir?
We don't name any wiring number for that. It's a main power input only we tell.
Okay. And
So
MDB assembly, sir?
all are incomer only. We give them feeder numbering. We give them feeder
Okay.
numbering, and this is the main power incoming. And for that, we calculate a cable size, and we just giving the numbering as an F1, F2, F3, F4 feeder numbering. Will just go.
What is feeder, sir?
Feeder means the
Yesterday
one
class
which
is
is
covered.
bringing a it's just like a representation which is bringing a power from one point to another point. We call as a feeder in the electrical terminology.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So that's all, guys, for the day. Okay, I'll assign the AutoCAD to your mail ID. Send me your mail IDs to your WhatsApp group or whoever your mail IDs. Sorry, mail IDs भेजो. Okay, then I'll assign that to the AutoCAD to your mail ID so that you can start opening and you can start work on that. ठीक है?
सर ऑटोकैड सिर्फ इलेक्ट्रिकल का रहता है क्या सर
नहीं,
या
see,
सॉफ्ट
ECAD
टूल्स
is
यूजिंग
separate, AutoCAD separate. ECAD means
Okay.
only the electrical. No one will can't use. But ECAD में AutoCAD में difference क्या बोलते हो? In the ECAD you have a predefined blocks. अपन को फैन है तो सेम फैन के जैसा नहीं मिलेगा, बट यूर ब्लॉक है रहेगा और ब्लैक कलर के लगाना. बट व्हेन इट कमिंग टू द कंपनीज, नो वन विल यूज ECAD. AutoCAD is a common software which has to be utilized by all the peoples. ओके, सो मैकेनिकल वालों को मैकेनिकल कैड, सिविल वालों को सिविल कैड नहीं रहता है, ओनली इलेक्ट्रिकल कैड रहता है. बट इलेक्ट्रिकल कैड में ड्रॉबैक क्या बोलते हो अपन? ड्रॉबैक बोलते नहीं बोलता मैं, अपन इलेक्ट्रिकल वाले यूज कर सकते हैं और उसमें प्री डिफाइंड सिंबल रहता है, वो सिंबल लेके के लगाना. बट रियल टाइम जब कंपनी में जाएंगे तो कंपनी का बंदा इलेक्ट्रिकल वालों को सेपरेट कैड, ऑटो कैड सेपरेट नहीं लेते हैं. दे विल परचेज ओनली वन लाइसेंस. ओके, देन दैट विल बी स्टार्ट यूटिलाइजिंग फॉर ऑल, बिकॉज 99% in the real time people mostly use an AutoCAD. So if ECAD करके फिर उसको ऊपर उसमें लेना बोलते इट्स मुश्किल. सो उसी के लिए we go with AutoCAD because MEP सर्विसेज पूरा AutoCAD में करते हैं.
ठीक है सर.
Okay.
और एज अ जैसे हम केवल इलेक्ट्रिकल का ही पार्ट्स देखते हैं, इलेक्ट्रिकल डिजाइन ड्राइंग्स का, तो ECAD में ड्रॉ करके क्लाइंट को दिया तो चलेगा कि उसको भी AutoCAD का ही फाइल लगता है?
99% AutoCAD का फाइल ही देना है, बिकॉज आजकल कोई भी ECAD का फाइल नहीं ले रहा है, बिकॉज ऑल द कंपनीज आर यूजिंग ओनली AutoCAD ओनली.
और एंड यूजर क्लाइंट रहा तो नई कंपनी नहीं रही और केवल क्लाइंट एक एंड यूजर
यूजिंग इलेक्ट्रिकल, ओके, नो HVAC plumbing means then you can give it up, no problem.
ओके. ओके सर.
Okay, right. Okay, guys, that's all for the day. See you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Complete your assignment
Thank you,
also
sir.
in the same way. Okay. Any questions, you can put a group in a WhatsApp also. You can put a message in a WhatsApp group also, so that I'll reply for it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you all. See you.
Yeah.
Have a great
Bye,
weekend.
sir.
थैंक यू सर.
Yeah. Bye.
बाय सर.
Yeah. Bye. Bye. Good night.